Welcome back to the channel. This is Trendy Storm and you are watching first part of What If Naruto Became a Player. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share and subscribe to the channel. Now wasting no more time, let's start the story.
You've been to bed and slept there. HP and CP have plenty of space. Naruto waved away the blue box that his mind, which was clouded by sleep, had made to wake him up. He had obviously been up way too late working on his latest RPG. Slowly, he rolled over to the edge of his bed and sat up, letting his feet land on the cold wood floor. His landlord had turned off his heat again, which was nothing new. As he did every morning, Naruto stretched his arms over his head and yawned a lot. He looked over at the few plants he had in pots. "Good morning," he said in a sleepy voice. His eyes were still tired, and he didn't notice the yellow boxes floating above the three small plants. He got up and walked to his dresser, where he found clean underwear. He then went to the floor, where he had left his tracksuit the night before, and picked it up. It wasn't dirty by his standards because he only had to wash it once a week, or if it got bloody, covered in vomit from a drunk trying to attack him, or splattered with rotten food from staying in the market district for too long. Unfortunately, he couldn't wash it any more often than that because his water bill was already too damn high. With his clothes in hand, he walked through the small apartment, past the combined living room and kitchen, and into the small bathroom, which only had a shower and a toilet. He jammed the kunai he kept on the bathroom counter into the door frame to hold it shut. He had to do this because the doorknob was broken and his landlord wouldn't fix it. He took a quick look in the mirror and saw the blue letters above his head, but he didn't really notice them because he was too busy looking at his nose and whisker marks. He turned away from the mirror and carefully lifted the toilet seat, making sure not to break it anymore since the landlord wouldn't fix it again. He couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief when he went to the bathroom to get rid of the liquid that had built up in his bladder while he slept. He closed the lid, but he wouldn't flush a number 1. Only a number 2 can be flushed, and he'd usually go outside for that. After finishing his work, he quickly took off his clothes, stepped into the shower, and held his breath as he turned on the water. He didn't have much time, so a second later, ice-cold water jolted him awake. He quickly grabbed the bar of soap and started to scrub himself from head to toe, making sure to get all the sensitive spots. Then he rinsed off and turned off the shower just as quickly. In total, it took him about 2 minutes. After getting out of the shower, he grabbed his toothbrush, put a little toothpaste on it, and went to work on his mouth. It wasn't fun, and he still couldn't figure out why he should use the water. He walked out of the bathroom and over to his window and fire escape to get the water bucket he'd put out the night before to collect rain. About half of the rooms were occupied, which was a good number for one night. He put the water into 2 pitchers in the kitchen, but not before pouring himself a glass. He then put the 2 pitchers in his refrigerator, which didn't keep them cold but did keep them from getting warm. The landlord wouldn't fix or replace the fridge either, and Naruto didn't have the money to do it himself. Naruto scrubbed his mouth again and got out his toothbrush. He held it over the sink and poured a little water from his glass over it, just enough to shake out any toothpaste. Then he took a bite and moved it around in his mouth before swallowing. He also couldn't waste the water because, for how green Hai no Kuni was, it didn't get a lot of rain. Naruto walked to the bathroom while drinking his water. He put his toothbrush back on the counter and started putting on his clothes. He looked in the mirror again and fiddled with his hair, trying to get the spiky style he liked. Finally, he noticed the blue glowing words that were floating above his head. Uzumaki Naruto, Academy Student, LVL. 3. The player. He asked out loud, "What the fuck?" He moved his hands up and waved them over the words without making any noise. He asked again, "What the fuck?" and blinked several times. "Okay, Naruto, you've been spending way too much of your free time playing video games," his friend said. Naruto smacked himself so hard that he almost fell to the ground. He yelled at himself in the mirror, "Shut the fuck up. Don't ever say crap like that again." The truth was that his life was so bad and messed up that video games were the only thing that kept him sane. The Hokage gave him his first video game console when he was 5 years old. It was the newest and best thing, and no one at school could stop talking about it. People who had one were proud of it, and people who didn't have one were jealous of those who did. When he said he'd had one, he thought it might help him make friends, and some of the kids were interested. Their parents said, no, so that didn't last. In fact, it was a firm no that came with threats of physical harm. No matter what, games became Naruto's friends and taught him right from wrong and good from bad. So, other than ninja school and training, Naruto's life was made up of video games. Naruto said to himself, "You're right, what was I thinking? I'm sure this is just a dream. I must have eaten a bad batch of instant ramen, which is why I'm seeing things." He was again met with a hard slap in the face. "Blasphemy," he said to himself out loud. Naruto gave himself another hard look in the mirror. Then he took another look at the blue words and gave a shrug. Most likely, they would leave soon. He went back out of the bathroom to put on his shoes, his hip pouch, and his weapons pouch. He took one more look around his apartment to make sure he hadn't forgotten anything before he left for the first day of his last year at the academy, his last chance. Naruto went to the Konoha Shinobi Academy, which is often called the KSA. He was one of the few people who were let in. It was a place where ninjas to be went to school. He may have been the worst student there as well. He tried to get out of school early twice and failed both times. This would be his third year at the academy, and it would be his last chance to graduate. If you didn't become a genin by age 13, you were automatically kicked out of the program. In 10 months, on October 10th, Naruto would be 13 years old. The test to graduate was on November 30th. So he had 11 months to do it or he was out of time. At the building's exit, Naruto's landlord was waiting for him. "Rent's due," he said gruffly, a golden question mark hovering over his head. Naruto raised an eyebrow to see what would happen next. Screw it, why not? He suddenly saw a blue window appear in front of him. Someone has made a quest. In the upper left corner and an arrow in the lower right corner. The arrow was pressed by Naruto. Quest alert. It's time to pay rent. If you don't pay your rent by 6 p.m., you'll be kicked out. Pay the landlord 1,000 ryo by 6 p.m., or clean out the Chakra rat nest in the basement by 6 p.m., you must bring the rat's tails as proof. Award for completion, 500 express. Increase your reputation with the landlord. If you clean out the Chakra rat nest, your reputation will go up twice as much. Completion failure, eviction. Lessen your standing with Konoha. Yes, no. Naruto blinked his eyes more than once. Make up your mind already, I don't have all day, the landlord said. Naruto pressed the yes button quickly. Remember, 6 p.m. or you're out of here, the man said again as he shoved Naruto out of the way and walked away. Again, Naruto asked, "What the fuck?" He looked over his landlord's head. Maikia Oda is a level 10 landlord. 7. Naruto quickly put his hands together to make a hand seal, flared his chakra, and yelled, "Kai." But nothing happened. So, if I did that wrong, I might still be in a genjutsu, but if I didn't, I'm not in a genjutsu, and this is all real, he told himself, noticing that the hallway leading out of his building was now empty. Naruto's walk to the academy was a little slower than usual because he was looking around and seeing level markers above everyone else in the village. He quickly noticed that most children were only level 1, that most civilians were level 15, and that the highest level people seemed to be traders. Ninjas he saw ranged in level from 10 to around 30, and there were also a lot of level shinobi. It looked like those around level 10 to 20 were genin, and those around level 20 to 30 must have been chunin. Probably chunin and junin. If this was true for games, it would mean that the level was so high that he couldn't even understand it. Through a special act, a special skill has been made. Again, Naruto blinked in surprise. When he touched the blue box, another one appeared. Observe, LVL. One is a skill that lets you find information about a target by keeping an eye on it. One has been made. What the hell? What is, observe? Naruto asked. This time, the new thing that popped up was orange. Akamichi Dogo, Master Baker, LVL. 15. HP. 500 CP, 150. The Akamichi clan's Master Baker. Cool, Naruto said, half because he was surprised and half because it was cool as hell. When another blue wind came up, Naruto spent the next 20 minutes trying to avoid as many people as he could. The level of, observe, has gone up by 1. Again, cool, he told himself. He used the ability again when he looked at the Master Baker. Observe. Akamichi Dogo, Master Baker, LVL. 15. HP. 500, CP, 150. The Akamichi clan's Master Baker. Dogo is known for being a great baker, and his breads are the best in all of Hai no Kuni. He has even made bread for the king and queen. Sweet, said Naruto. So I can level up my skills so they work better. When he was getting excited, a new blue window popped up and stopped him. Quest alert. Don't be late to academy. Get there on time. You have 10 minutes to get to class before you're considered late. Award for completion, 100 express. Get along better with Konoha 12. Failure to complete. Lower your reputation with Konoha. Yes, no. Naruto yelled, what? And quickly tapped yes before starting to run toward the academy. He didn't even look at the big clock that started counting down in the corner of his eye. With only 20 seconds left, Naruto just barely made it into the classroom. You just barely made it to class on time. After finishing, you get 100 express and a +5 reputation boost with the Konoha 12. Naruto would have paid more attention if he hadn't had to run halfway across Konoha to get to class on time. Even though he got better quickly, that was still hard. Naruto finally looked at the messages and said yes, but he couldn't help but wonder who the hell the Konoha 12 were, why he was famous with them, and why it even mattered. Naruto finally got mad and sat down. He looked around and saw that all of his classmates had the same blue letters with their names and levels above their heads. He wasn't happy about it either. As he looked around, he saw that, except for 8 of his classmates, most of the students were in levels 3 to 6. Haruno Sakura LVL 7. Yamanaka Ino LVL 7. Hyuga Hinata LVL 8. Nara Shikamaru LVL 8. Akamichi Choji LVL 8. Inuzuka Kiba LVL 9. Aburame Shino LVL 9. Uchiha Sasuke LVL 12. Naruto was so angry that he wanted to cry and scream. Even the person he liked the most was so much better than him. How was it possible that all of them were so much stronger than he was? Naruto started to watch each one of them, which made him even more angry. Haruno Sakura, Academy Student, LVL 7. HP. 100, 100, CP, 50. The smartest person in class is Haruno Sakura. She is very smart, but she is not very good at sports. She is crazy about Uchiha Sasuke and is in a fierce competition with Yamanaka Ino for his love. After that one, Naruto gave a low growl. Yamanaka Ino, Academy Student, LVL 7. HP. 100, 100, CP, 100. Yamanaka Ino is from the famous Yamanaka clan, which is known for its mind techniques. She is very vain because she puts too much stock in her looks and not enough in her skills. She is crazy about Uchiha Sasuke and fights hard with Haruno Sakura for his attention. Naruto almost laughed when he saw that the last line was the same as Sakura's. Hyuga Hinata, Academy Student, LVL 8. HP. 150, 150, CP, 100. Hinata Hyuga is a member of the elite Hyuga clan, which is known for its dojutsu and its own style of taijutsu. She is a very nice girl, but she is very shy, so her classmates don't know her well. She gets the strength to get better by looking at the person she looks up to the most. When he heard that, Naruto couldn't help but smile. Hinata sounded so cool that he decided to try to get to know her better this year. The level of observe has gone up by 1. Already, Naruto said in a mumble. Let's see what happens with this. Nara Shikamaru, Academy Student, LVL 8. HP. 100 100ths. CP. 150 150ths. STR. 7. VIT. 10. Dex. 11. Int. 15. Wis. 35. Luck. 3. Nara Shikamaru is part of the famous Nara clan, which is known for being smart and lazy. Because of their unique ability to control shadows, they are very useful shinobi. Shikamaru is by far the most intelligent Nara born in a long time, but he is also the most lazy. Damn, Shikamaru is smart, Naruto said, and Nara, who was sleeping a few seats away, looked over at him. The look made Naruto smile nervously, but he was able to laugh it off. Shikamaru was curious, but he turned his head back and closed his eyes again, mumbling troublesome as he did so. Naruto would have kept looking around at the rest of the class, but his teachers came in at that time. He was lucky to have Amino Iruka as a teacher again. Even so, his assistant was new. Amino Iruka is a level 25 teacher at the academy. Toji Mizuki is an assistant teacher at the academy and is level 22. Naruto started to like the names above their heads. This time, though, he saw that their names were next to a leaf symbol. Amino Iruka is a level 25 teacher at the academy. Belongs to Konoha. HP 1000. CP 750/750ths. STR. VIT. Dex. Int. Wis. Luck. Amino Iruka is a dedicated academy instructor who finds his life's purpose in teaching the next generation of shinobi. Naruto thought that was strange. The information wasn't nearly as full. It was like, observe, level 2 for him. He probably did it because Iruka was so much better than him. Naruto tried on Mizuki, but the same thing happened. It told him that he couldn't do everything because his level was so low. That made me wonder a few other things. How could he go up a level? Were they the only ones? Also, what were his own numbers? Then he thought, if this is a game, he should be able to get some kind of command prompt, right? Profile, he first said. Pause, menu, status, the last one made an orange menu appear. Name, Uzumaki Naruto. The gamer's class. Academy student, up to level 10, plus 25% experience gain. Level, LV3. Belongs to Konoha. HP, 600/600ths. CP, 600/600ths. STR, 10. VIT, 20/10. Dex, 5. Int, 20/10. Wis, 3. Luck. Status. +10 int, +10 vit plus. Percent experience 2. Skill. +100 HP and +100 CP per level prankster, -5% reputation gain, +5% experience to trap, skill, +5% experience to stealth, skill. Naruto Uzumaki is the last student to graduate from the Konoha Academy. He has failed the graduation test twice, which shows that he is not ready to graduate. His past is full of mysteries that he needs to figure out. Point. 0. Ryo. 3500. He said, what the hell? You need something, Naruto? Iruka asked, not knowing why the man was suddenly looking over his shoulder. Naruto said, no, Iruka-sensei, hoping the man would leave quickly. Iruka asked, then you can tell me what I just said? You introduced us to Mizuki-sensei? Naruto asked, hoping he was really lucky. I guess you were paying attention, Iruka said as she moved on. Your luck goes up by 1 because your luck holds out and you don't get in trouble on the first day of school. Naruto couldn't help but want to jump up and down and cheer. He looked at his status again, and his luck stat was still. So it was either very high or, if it could go negative, it was negative. What in the hell does luck even do for him? Naruto pressed the symbol in the upper left corner of his status window. Right away, a few small black boxes with yellow writing and yellow lines pointing to each part of the status window appeared. Luck is the chance that something will go your way when you're not fighting. Most of the time, this affects gambling and loot drops. Naruto gave a nod and then looked at the other numbers. STR. Your strength affects how much damage your physical attacks and weapon attacks do and how much damage your ability to parry reduces. When both STR and Dex go up by 1, the speed goes up by 0.25. VIT. Your total HP and endurance are affected by your vitality. If you have more vitality, you can take more damage and fight for longer. This also affects how quickly you get your HP back when you're not fighting. Dex. Your dexterity affects how well you can avoid attacks and how well your attacks hit their targets. When both STR and Dex go up by 1, the speed goes up by 0.25. Int. Your intelligence affects how many CP you have, how fast your CP recovers, and how much damage your jutsu do. Your ability to learn and remember things is also affected by Wis. How smart you are and how well you can use what you know depend on how wise you are. This has a huge effect on how well you control your chakra. Status. During the game, you can get and use a wide range of temporary and permanent status effects, such as stun, sleep, etc. and Sharingan, Hyouden, etc. Some permanent effects can only come from your genes, while others need you to do something specific. Earn your title and get different and sometimes helpful titles as you play. Naruto just had to let out a sigh. He had to think about a lot of information. Naruto closed the menu and tried to listen to the lecture, but he soon stopped paying attention as he thought about all the cool things he could do with his new gamer ability. Iruka told the students, "Okay, please read this booklet. Then we'll go to the practice range to work on Kunai and Shuriken Bukajutsu." Mizuki then started giving each of the students a booklet. Kiba asked, "Why do we have to read this again? We get this damned book every year." "Because every year we like to give our students a refresher course so they don't get sloppy or lazy with their technique," Iruka told the boy from Inuzuka. As Naruto looked at the book in front of him, he sighed. He picked up the book and was about to open it when a new window popped up. "You've obtained the skill book, Kunai and Shuriken Bukajutsu. Do you want to learn how to do it?" Naruto almost pulled out his hair when he heard this. He knew how to throw Kunai and Shuriken. What the hell was wrong with this game? Naruto tapped the "Confirm Why" button just to see what would happen. The book burning and going up in smoke was not good, and both Mizuki and Iruka gave him dirty looks. "You've obtained the skill, Kunai Bukajutsu, and Shuriken Bukajutsu." A moment later, two big orange windows appeared. Kunai Bukajutsu, passive, active, LV1 Express, 0.00% carbon monophosphide, 5. This is a technique for using the kunai in both close combat and long-range combat. Actively makes kunai 10% more accurate. Increases kunai parry passively by 10%. When active, STR gets an extra 10% boost for 15 seconds. Shuriken Bukajutsu, passive, active, LV1 Express, 0.00% carbon monophosphide, 5. This is a special shuriken technique for use at a distance. Actively makes shurikens 20% more accurate. When active, ranged damage goes up by an extra 5% for 15 seconds. "Good one, Naruto," shouted Kiba as he laughed hard. But Naruto's eyes were wide open. "I swear it was an accident," he said. He hadn't planned for that to happen. He didn't do it. Iruka gave Naruto a mean look and threw another book at him, which hit him right in the eyes. "You've obtained the skill book, Kunai and Shuriken Bukajutsu. This skill has been learned before. Can't be taught again." Naruto glared at the pink warning, then closed it, put the book on the desk, and pretended to read it by opening it. Then it hit him that he had read the whole book in one sitting. From the book, he also found out that he had been throwing his kunai and shuriken wrong for years. Someone decided to teach him wrong a long time ago, it seems. Naruto sat in his seat, staring at the booklet and grumbling to himself about how he had tricked Shugo-sensei so badly that he would never be able to show himself in public again. Iruka told the class, "Okay, let's go outside and brush up on our Bukajutsu skills." The students were only too happy to close their books. Outside, the group stood in 5 lines of 6 in front of 5 target dummies. "Now, step up to the line and throw 5 kunai and 10 shuriken. Then, go to the end of your line. Everyone will get 5 chances to throw, and your best round will determine your grade," said Iruka, a gold. Appeared above his head a few seconds later. Quest alert. Kunai and shuriken, oh my. Get at least 80%. You have 5 tries to throw the kunai and shuriken at least 80% of the time. Award for completion, 400 Express. Academy Kunai, 10, and Academy Shuriken, 20. Completion failure, 100 Express. This was the kind of quest Naruto liked. And with the new skills he had learned, he was sure to do great on this test. Naruto was third in line, and he couldn't wait to get there and show what he could do. He got in position and threw. On his first try, he hit with 4 kunai and 7 shuriken. He was upset that he didn't meet the quest requirement on his first try, but he was happy to see that each hit with a kunai gave him 10 Express and each hit with a shuriken gave him 5 Express. The second time it was Naruto's turn, he hit with all 5 of his kunai but only 6 of his shuriken, putting him about 7% short. The third time Naruto got up, he was 86% done with the quest. You've mostly hit the mark. At the end, you get 400 experience points and 10 and 20 Academy Kunai and Academy Shuriken. Naruto was happy, but right away he got another alert. Quest alert. My best is getting at least 90%. You have 2 throws with the kunai and shuriken to get 90% or better. Award for completion, 1000 Express. Skill book for the Academy Intermediate Taijutsu. Completion failure. 200 Express. If the last quest made him happy, this one made him want to eat. Kunai Bukajutsu, S level has risen by 1. Passively makes Kunai 15% more accurate. Shuriken Bukajutsu, S level has risen by 1. Actively makes shurikens 25% more accurate. Yada. Naruto shouted in excitement. After completing his last quest, he not only got a new one, but his 2 skills also got a level, which made their passive accuracy boost even better. Naruto was so excited about this next quest that he was almost bouncing up and down while he waited. Stepping up to the line, Naruto let them have it, getting hit again for 85% but still learning from it. Okay, Naruto, this is your last chance. Do your best, Iruka said as she watched the students work and kept score. Naruto threw the kunai first and hit 5 out of 5 times. Then he hit 8 out of 10 times with his shuriken. No, Naruto said, and he fell to his knees again. That's an 86% Naruto, good job, Iruka said with a kind smile. Quest failed. Completion failure. 200 Express. Naruto looked incredibly sad. Congratulations. Your level has gone up 1. When he heard that, Naruto got up right away. So failing is bad, but getting a level up must be good. Naruto picked up the practice weapons he had thrown and gave them back to the instructors. He decided to wait until he got back to class to find out what his level meant for him so that he could focus on it. Your dex will go up by 1 because more practice makes you better. Cool. Naruto yelled with joy. He was getting skills and stats like mad. If things kept going like this, he'd quickly reach the highest level and earn the Hokage title. Iruka told the students, okay, students, go back inside for history, which made everyone groan.
Naruto was excited to get back to class so he could sit down and look at this status screen and maybe even his skills if they had a menu for it.
Once Naruto was inside, a lecture started, but he ignored it to check his status page. Name: Uzumaki Naruto. The Gamer's Class. Academy Student, Level 10, plus 25% experience gain. Level: LV4. Belongs to Konoha. HP: 700 700ths. CP: 700 700ths. STR: 10. VIT: 20, 10. Dex: 6. Int: 20, 10. Wis: 3. Luck. Status: plus 10, int, plus 10, vit, plus percent experience 2. Skill: plus 100 HP and plus 100 CP per level. Prankster, minus 5% reputation gain, plus 5% experience to trap, skill, plus 5% experience to stealth, skill. Naruto Uzumaki is the last student to graduate from the Konoha Academy. He has failed the graduation test twice, which shows that he is not ready to graduate. His past is full of mysteries that he needs to figure out. Point 5. Ryo: 3500. Naruto was so angry that he wanted to scream. A level didn't change his base stats. Instead, it gave him points he could spend. So much nonsense. Naruto knew that if he raised his dex, it would make him more accurate, which would have helped him on that last quest he failed. So Naruto pressed the button 4 times, giving him a total of 10 points. This left him with 1 point. He added a point to Whis because it was his lowest score. He thought that if he was more balanced, things would get better. Name: Uzumaki Naruto. The Gamer's Class. Academy Student, Level 10, plus 25% experience gain. Level: LV4. Belongs to Konoha. HP: 700 700ths. CP: 700 700ths. STR: 10. VIT: 20, 10. Dex: 10. Int: 20, 10. Wis: 4. Luck. Status: plus 10, int, plus 10, vit, plus percent experience 2. Skill: plus 100 HP and plus 100 CP per level. Prankster, minus 5% reputation gain, plus 5% experience to trap, skill, plus 5% experience to stealth, skill. Naruto Uzumaki is the last student to graduate from the Konoha Academy. He has failed the graduation test twice, which shows that he is not ready to graduate. His past is full of mysteries that he needs to figure out. Point 0. Rio. 3500. When he was happy with his changes, he tapped the Accept button, which got rid of the adjustment arrows. Skills, he whispered, then opened a new orange window with a number of small thumb images, each with a name, the type of ability, the skill level, and a short description. Gamer's Mind, Passive, Max, lets the user think things through calmly and logically. Lets you have a calm mind. Immunity to the effect of psychological status. Gamer's Body, Passive, Max, gives the user a body that makes the real world feel like a video game. He gets his HP, CP, and all status effects back after he sleeps in a bed. Observe, Passive, Active 2. By observing things, situations, and people over and over again, you can quickly gather information. The more skill you have, the more information you can get. Kunai Bukajutsu, Passive, Active 2 boosts accuracy and parry without doing anything. When it is active, it makes you stronger. Shuriken Bukajutsu, Passive, Active 2, increases accuracy without doing anything. When it's active, it makes ranged damage greater. Trap, Passive 1. You automatically get better at making and setting traps. Stealth, Passive 1. Your skill at sneaking into and out of places gets a passive boost. Actively make it harder for other people to track or spot you. Henge, Active, Max. It's hard to find the perfect disguise, but with a little chakra and a lot of creativity, you can be anyone or anything. You can become anyone or anything with this perfect transformation skill. This is a real transformation, not an illusion like most shinobi use. Kawarimi, Active 2 Log. Let's all praise the only thing that can save us from the worst situations, amen. Used to switch places with things to keep from getting hurt. Naruto looked over his list of skills. It wasn't long, but it was interesting. He used the Trap skill to see if it would give him more information. Passive Trap LV 422.73%. Every shinobi needs to know how to set traps. Depending on the situation, they are used to surprise and confuse both friends and enemies. They work just as well for fun as they do for killing. Passively makes traps 12.5% more effective. Passively, traps do 12.5% more damage. Increases the placement of traps passively by 12.5%. As he read the details, Naruto gave himself a little nod. He never thought that being able to pull a prank could help him set up better traps. He shut that window and pressed the stealth button. Stealth, Passive, LV 23.61%. Every shinobi needs to be able to move without being seen. It is used to sneak and hide so that neither a friend nor an enemy can catch you. Increases stealth infiltration passively by 10%. Passively makes it 10% easier to stay hidden. Passively adds 10% to stealth's ability to stay hidden. Naruto muttered to himself, cool. He finally shut the window and tried to pay attention to the lesson, but he fell asleep anyway. After history, everyone went to lunch. Well, most of them went to lunch. Naruto went back to the target range and practiced the 2 Bukajutsu he had learned, getting 2 more levels for each and improving their accuracy by 10%. After lunch, Naruto went back to school, which was his favorite thing to do. Iruka said, first of all, here are the review booklets for both Squad Tactics and Academy Taijutsu. I know it's mostly the same as the last few years, but it's clear that some of you haven't been paying attention as well as you should have. Naruto couldn't help but feel like Iruka was talking directly to him. Again, the 2 booklets gave Naruto the chance to learn a skill, but he decided to wait until after the academy was over so he wouldn't get in trouble. When they all went outside to practice taijutsu, Naruto got his behind handed to him, and he failed 3 more quests, 1 for each match he lost. He still learned a lot from it, and he even picked up another passive skill. Physical Endurance is a passive ability with a level of 4. It makes the body stronger, so it takes less damage. The damage you take from attacks goes down by 4%. Even though it hurt to learn, he didn't have much of a choice. On the other hand, he could see how this skill would be useful in the future. Around 4 p.m., Naruto finally left the academy. He worked on the target range for an extra hour after class, getting another level and 5% more accuracy for each of his 2 Bukajutsu. This time, it also made the active skills better. Kunai Bukajutsu, Passive, Active, LV5 Express, 0.00% Carbon Monophosphide, 5. This is a technique for using the kunai in both close combat and long-range combat. Passively makes kunai 25% more accurate. Increases kunai parry passively by 10%. When active, STR goes up by 15% more. Shuriken Bukajutsu, passive, active, LV5 Express, 0.00% carbon monophosphide, 5. This is a special shuriken technique for use at a distance. Passively makes shurikens 35% more accurate. When active, the damage goes up by 7.5% more. Now Naruto had another mission that he really wanted to do. Naruto rarely went into the basement of his apartment building because the chakra rats were usually mean and sick, and he couldn't really pay to go to the hospital. Now, he only had to kill them all, even if they poisoned him, because he could just go to sleep and all the status ailments would be gone in the morning. Naruto called them out as he stepped off the last step in the basement. "Okay, you rat scumbags, it's time for you to get out of here." The first rat attacked just a second later. It came out from under the steps behind him and bit him on the ankle. Naruto yelped, but quickly turned and drove a kunai into the little jerk, killing it in one hit. It was only level 1, so it was easy to kill. The next 10 were harder to kill. Their levels ranged from 1 to 4, so while some of them could be killed in one hit, most of them needed between 3 and 4. After his 20th kill, he got a letter. "Your level has gone up by 1, so congrats." Naruto hardly had time to think about it before a level 7 King Chakra Rat showed up. King Chakra Rat LVL7. HP. 1000 CP, 400 400ths. King Chakra Rat is the leader of a group of rats. He is the meanest and bites the hardest, but in his time as king, he has gotten the most food, which has made him very fat and slowed him down a lot. Naruto was glad to hear the news, but he didn't like it. This was going to be one mean rat. Naruto quickly checked his own health and saw that it was just above half, but the poison from the bites was slowly making it go down. "So you need to die soon or I'm in big trouble. So bring it, you fat slob," Naruto said to the rat as a joke. Through a special act, a special skill has been made. By constantly talking trash about an opponent, taunt LVL. One has been made, which is a skill that makes an opponent angry. Naruto was a little surprised that he had learned such a skill, but he quickly closed the menu when he saw that the rat now looked very angry and had turned red. "Crap," said Naruto. "Red like that usually means anger. So you can only attack me physically and only me, but because of this, your damage will be higher." As expected, the rat ran right at him. As the rat got closer, Naruto rolled to the left and cut the ugly rat along his side. As he went by, the rat's health dropped by about 5%. Naruto rolled away from the rat to avoid its whip-like tail. The rat turned around to look at Naruto again, but then rushed forward again. Naruto did his roll slice again and rolled away. He didn't have much room to jump around because the ceiling was pretty low. The rat seemed to have a pattern, and Naruto knew what it was. The rat didn't have much longer before it was down to its last 25%. The rat's red aura seemed to be gone, and it tried to get back to its hole. "No, you don't." Naruto yelled. "Kunai Bukajutsu." He felt his arms get stronger right away. He pulled out a second kunai and jumped forward, slamming both kunais as hard as he could into the rat's back. One kunai went into the rat's neck, and the other went into its head, killing it. Through a special act, a special skill has been made. Roll/LVL. One was made by coming up with new ways to use kunai, which is a skill that lets you attack your opponent back. Through a special act, a special skill has been made. Double Pierce, LVL. One was made by getting creative with kunai, a skill that lets you finish off a weaker opponent. "Nice," Naruto said. "Way to go, me." He checked his health and saw that it was just under half. At this point, he knew what to do. He quickly picked up the dead rats' tails and threw away their bodies. Then he ran up the stairs and turned in the tails as proof that he had completed the quest. "Your level has gone up by 1, so congrats." Naruto told himself, "I'll deal with the levels in the morning. For now, it's time to sleep." He ran up the stairs to his room and went to bed. Name: Uzumaki Naruto. The Gamer's Class. Academy Student, Level 10, plus 25% experience gain. Level: LV6. Belongs to Konoha. HP: 900 900ths. CP, 900 900ths. STR, 10. VIT, 20, 10. Dex, 10. Int, 20, 10. Wis, 4. Luck. Status. +10, Vit, +10, Int, plus. Percent experience 2? Skill. +100 HP and +100 CP per level prankster, -5% reputation gain, +5% experience to trap skill, +5% experience to stealth skill. Naruto Uzumaki is the last person to graduate from the Konoha Academy. He has failed the graduation twice, which shows that he is not ready to graduate. His past is full of mysteries that he needs to figure out. Point. 10. Ryo. 3500. You've been to bed and slept there. HP and CP have plenty of space. When Naruto heard that chime, his eyes popped open wide. He gave a big smile when he saw the message. Since it was still happening, it was possible that this was all real. Yes. He shouted as he jumped to his feet and raised his arms in joy. People in the nearby apartments yelled, "Shut up." But Naruto did nothing but smile. He ran into the living room, opened his bag, and took out the 2 books he knew were skills books. You now have the Beginner Academy Taijutsu skill book. Do you want to learn how to do it? Naruto pressed the Confirm Y button. You now have the skill, Beginner Academy Taijutsu. Beginner Academy Taijutsu, passive, level 1 experience rate, 0%. Taijutsu, or hand-to-hand fighting, is another skill that all shinobi need to know. Beginners learn the right way to stand and how to strike, kick, and block. Passively adds 5% to STR. Passively ups VIT by 5%. Passively adds 5% to Dex. Naruto said, "Hell yeah," but not too loudly so he wouldn't bother his neighbors again. Naruto pulled out the next book. You now have the Beginner Academy Tactics skill book. Do you want to learn how to do it? Naruto pressed the Confirm Y button. But instead of being able to learn the skill, a red error box came up. You can't learn how to do this. Must have Wis. 10. Naruto groaned and put the book back on the table. He then opened his status screen. He was lucky to have points left at this point. He gave up 6 points in Wis to get the 10 points he needed. The last 4 points were then put into dexterity. Even if it killed him, he was going to improve his accuracy. He quickly tapped the accept button and closed his status window before picking up the booklet again. You now have the Beginner Academy Tactics skill book. Do you want to learn how to do it? Naruto rolled his eyes, but he still pressed the Confirm Y button. You now have the Beginner Academy Tactics skill. Beginner Academy Tactics, passive, level 1 experience, 0%. Team formations, ambush points, counter ambush, and many other strategies. Passively adds 5% to int. Passively makes Wis 5% better. Naruto smiled and shut the window, but then another one popped up. Through a special act, a special skill has been made. Teamwork LVL. One has been made by learning tactics from the academy and taijutsu, which is a way to improve group combat. Now what the hell is this? Naruto asked. Skills. Since yesterday, the skills window had grown to show the 3 new attacks and the 2 new passive skills he had just learned. Taunt. Active 1. This is the best kind of trash talk. This ability will make a weak-willed opponent angry enough to attack you, which will hurt them more than you. Damage done to an opponent goes up by 25%, and the damage they take goes up by 10%. When an opponent's HP falls below 25% or after 60 seconds, anger will go away. Roll Slash is an active, 1-point counterattack that is meant to get around an opponent at the last second by rolling past them and slashing at their side. Critical chance goes up by 15%. Attack damage goes up by 25%. Can only be done with weapons that have a sharp edge. Double Pierce is an active 1-point move that does a lot of piercing damage to a weak opponent. Critical chance goes up by 50%. Attack damage goes up by 200%. Only knives can be used to kill them. Teamwork. Passive 1 increases teamwork in a passive way. When everyone on a team attacks the same target, the damage done by the team as a whole goes up by 10%. Naruto had to read the Teamwork skill several times because it gave him such a huge advantage. The only bad thing about it was that it took a team of people who all had to work toward the same goal. Okay, I have a lot of work to do. Man, this is going to be hard, Naruto said. He huffed once because he was annoyed, then shut all the open windows and went about his normal morning routine. Again, he got the 10-minute warning quest to get to the academy on time, which he gladly accepted. This time, he got there with almost a full minute to spare. Your STR went up by 1 because you ran toward the goal. Your VIT went up by 1 because you ran toward the goal. Your Dex went up by 1 because you ran toward the goal. Naruto would have cheered again, but he didn't feel like it. Instead, he sat down and tried to watch his classmates until the teacher came in. Akamichi Choji, a student at the academy, is level 8. HP, 300 300ths. CP, 100 100ths. STR, 20. VIT, 30. Dex, 5. Int, 10. Whis, 10. Luck, 4. Akamichi Choji is from the famous Akamichi clan, which is known for having big bodies and even bigger appetites. Shinobi who can use their own bodies in unique ways are very powerful. Choji is a very nice young man, but if a certain 3-letter word is used around him, he gets angry quickly. Naruto smiled. When he had met Choji before, he had liked him. His description was pretty accurate, and it made Naruto like the fat boy even more. Inuzuka Kiba, Academy student, LVL 9. HP, 200 200ths. CP, 100 100ths. STR, 15. VIT, 20. Dex, 15. Int, 10. Whis, 7. Luck, 3. Inuzuka Kiba is part of the wild Inuzuka clan, which is known for getting along well with Ninken. This close relationship has given their clan animal-like skills in jutsu, which make them fierce fighters and great trackers. Even though Kiba is the son of the clan leader, he is a pretty average Inuzuka. Kiba's story made Naruto frown a little. He could tell from Kiba's stats that he was a very strong fighter. From what Naruto could remember, his stats were good, and he knew a good number of techniques. Aburame Shino is a level 9 student at the academy. HP, 200 200ths. CP, 150 150ths. STR, 10. VIT, 20. Dex, 7. Int, 15. Whis, 15. Luck, 2. Shino Aburame is a member of the well-known Aburame clan, which is known for being quiet and appreciating the little things in life. They are known to have a colony of Kakaichu living inside their bodies, which gives them powerful and creepy skills. Shino is the heir to the clan and is training to be a very good shinobi. When Naruto thought about sharing his body with something like that, he tried not to shiver. Shino was still pretty cool, even if he was a little weird. The level of observe has gone up by 1. Nice, just in time to look at the prick, Naruto said to himself with a laugh. Name: Uchiha Sasuke. Academy student, 25% more experience to level 10. Level: LV 12. Belongs to Konoha. HP: 400 400ths. CP: 460 460ths. STR: 20. VIT: 40. Dex: 34. Int: 46. Whis: 32. Luck: 1. Status: Unawakened Sharingan, +2, Dex, +3, Int, and +1 Whis per level. Avenger, plus 25% to all stats when attacking Uchiha Itachi. Firebug, minus 15% cost to Kaiden Jutsu, plus 10 damage to Kaiden Jutsu. Sasuke Uchiha is the last loyal member of the infamous Uchiha clan to still be alive. They are known for their Sharingan Dujutsu, which has helped them do well as shinobi. His past is so clouded by the pain and suffering of losing his family that revenge is all he has left. Naruto was not happy as he looked at the Uchiha's stats and grumbled. Even though the information his watch gave him now was pretty cool, it didn't change the fact that he thought Sasuke was too strong. It didn't help at all that the guy was such a jerk. "Good morning, class," said Iruka as she and Mizuki walked into the classroom. The students all said, "Good morning, sensei," at the same time. Yesterday, we talked more about how shinobi work with their bodies. Today, we're going to focus on the parts that have to do with chakras, Iruka said. Before we get started, are there any questions? As soon as he started talking about chakra and its yin and yang, Naruto stopped listening. Reputation, Naruto said in a mumble. He was interested in how the reputation gains he'd made had changed things. Reputation. Konohagakure, hated 15 1/1000ths. Landlord. Hated, 750 out of 1000. Iruka, friendly 561 thousandths. Mizuki? 1 1,000th. Sarutobi Hiruzen, friendly 951 thousandths. Konoha Merchant Guild, hate 5 1,000ths. Ichiraku Ramen. Recognized, 9,000 out of 10,000. Akamichi Bakery, 15 1,000ths. I hated it. Weapons of Higurashi, even 500 1,000ths. Hated 1 1,000th Konoha General Store. Hated 1 1,000th Konoha Clothiers. Yakiniku Q, hated 5 1,000ths. Farm Stand, hate 1 1,000th. Surplus Arms. Least liked, 1 1,000th. Unfriendly. Konoha 12 991 thousandths. Uchiha Sasuke, rude, 550 out of 1,000. Haruno Sakura, unfriendly 10 1,000ths. Nara Shikamaru, friendly 105 1,000ths. Akamichi Choji, friendly 151 thousandths. Yamanaka Ino, neutral 500 1,000ths. Hyuga Hinata, honored 6,510 thousandths. Inazuka Kiba, friendly 51 thousandths. Aburame Shino, neutral 500 1,000ths. Neutral 500 1,000ths. Neutral 500 1,000ths. Neutral 500 1,000ths. Naruto wasn't sure what to think about what he had heard. Everyone seemed to dislike him, except for a few people he talked to often. At least he was friendly with some of them, and a couple of them were even honored. Naruto tapped in the top left corner. A black box with yellow writing came up, just like on the status page, but there were no arrows pointing to anything. Reputation is how you are seen by different groups in the game world. If someone hates you, they might not give you quests or they might charge you more for goods, if they will even sell them to you. As your reputation gets better, you'll be able to do more quests and pay less for goods, if they have any to sell. Well, that's a bunch of crap, Naruto said to himself. He was lucky that it wasn't loud enough to be heard, but Shikamaru, who was sitting next to him today, did give him a look. Troublesome, Shikamaru grumbled. What are you doing now, Naruto? He asked, finally letting his curiosity get the best of him. Huh? Oh, nothing. I'm just going over some things, Naruto said, hoping that Shikamaru would stop. Shikamaru said, whatever, since it was clear Naruto was hiding something. Just don't pull one of your jokes on me. It's too much trouble. Naruto laughed in a worried way. You got it. The rest of the morning class was very boring, and Naruto eventually joined Shikamaru in sleeping on the desk. Naruto was back at the target range for lunch. He gained one more level in his Bukajutsu skills, but neither his passive nor his active skills got better. Still, he was more at ease and familiar with the weapons than he had ever been before. After his last throw, Naruto went to get his weapons. The tip broke off the first kunai he pulled out. Shit, these things are terrible, he moaned out loud. Wait, what happened to the shuriken and kunai I got yesterday from that quest? Naruto would watch the kunai and shuriken that were still stuck in the target. Old kunai don't do as much damage and are easy to break. Minus 5% damage and accuracy. Stats. 1 to 3 damage, melee, 3 to 5 damage, ranged, doer 1/25. Old, dull, and rusty shuriken do less damage and are easier to break. Minus 5% damage and accuracy. Stats. 2 to 4 damage, ranged, doer 1/25. Naruto gave a growl. Inventory. A new orange window appeared with several thumb-sized images, most of which were empty, and an image of his body overlaid with several thumb-sized images showing his clothes and equipment. Cool, Naruto said in a whisper, grinning like a fool. Naruto touched his jacket and wondered what kind of information it told him. Orange overstock jacket. This jacket is made of a thin, light material that doesn't offer much protection from weapons or the weather. Stats. Plus 5 defense, minus 15% stealth effectiveness, minus 5% reputation gain, plus 0.50 speed, doer 2/30. What? Naruto asked out loud. Again, that's not true. This game is fucking broken, Kami damn it. Naruto shut the window because he was angry and disgusted. He touched the icon for his pants because he thought it would be the same. He wasn't wrong. Orange overstocked running pants. These pants are made of a thin, light material that doesn't offer much protection from weapons or the weather. Stats. +7, def, -15% effectiveness of stealth, -5% reputation gains, +0.50 speed, doer 3/30. Naruto then tapped his shoes. Blue Academy issue Shinobi sandals. These sandals are great for beginners because they are made of light materials and don't get in the way of flexibility or chakra. Stats. +3, def, +5% stealth effectiveness, +0.50 speed, 10/30 doer. His goggles came next. Green goggles are high-quality eye protection that Jujutsu practitioners often wear to keep their eyes safe in the field. Stats. +5 def, +10% effectiveness with, observe, doer 40/50. Naruto thought that was better. He could see that the damaged kunai was in the one slot on his leg pouch and that his shuriken was in one of the 3 slots on his hip pouch. The other 2 slots were empty. Naruto looked at his inventory. The Academy kunai, 10, and the Academy shuriken, 20, were in the 2 open slots. Naruto touched one and pulled it over the item he was wearing at the time. The 2 items then switched places. He did the same thing quickly with the other and then shut his inventory. Naruto got in line to try out his new weapons, but the KSA lunch bell went off, stopping him. Naruto walked back to class with a frown on his face because he didn't get to use his new gear. When it came to new gear, he would have to stop by one of the weapon shops in town to see what he could do about his running suit. He either had to replace it, which he didn't want to do, or get it fixed. It would depend on how much money he had. The good thing was that he now knew of at least one store where he was neutral, which meant he didn't have to pay too much for goods. "Welcome back from lunch, everyone," said Iruka. "Let's start by going over the 3 basic academy jutsu again." Again, Mizuki walked along the end cap and gave each student a stack of scrolls to pass down. Naruto got the 3 scrolls he needed. You now have the Henge skill scroll. This skill has been learned before. Can't be taught again. You now have the Kawarimi skill scroll. This skill has been learned before. Can't be taught again. You now have the Bunshin skill scroll. Do you want to learn how to do it? Fuck it. I'm not going to get kicked again because I waited until after school to learn something, Naruto said as he pressed the Y button to confirm. You can't learn how to do this. 25% of CP must be WIS. Naruto closed his eyes, then closed them again. The last time he checked, he had 900 CP and only 10 WIS. Even if he tried, he couldn't get close to that number because one of his status effects gave him an extra 100 CP at every level. Even now, he needs 225 WIS, and that number will only go up. Anyo, Iruka-sensei, said Naruto raising his hand. Yes, Naruto? I can't learn Bunshin, he told her. Naruto, I'm sure you could learn if you really worked at it. Now stop making a scene, Iruka told him, effectively telling him to leave. But, sensei, he tried to say in response. Naruto, what? He tried to explain. I have too much chakra for it, he said. Naruto, you can never have too much chakra. Only not enough control, Iruka tried to make him feel better. So how can I get better at controlling myself? He asked. I've already taught you this, so try to remember, Iruka said. Naruto looked sad. What did he learn from Iruka before? Was it that dumb thing with the leaf? Yes, Naruto, that stupid leaf thing is a very basic chakra control exercise, he said. I think you should work on it for a while if you want to get good enough at it to use Bunshin correctly. Naruto gave a groan. Through a special act, a special skill has been made. You remember a lesson from the past that you had forgotten. Chakra control, leaf sticking, LVL. One has been made. Naruto opened his list of skills right away and tapped, leaf sticking. Leaf sticking, passive, active, LV1 EXP 0.00% CP 15 every 5 seconds. All Academy students learn this exercise as an introduction to controlling their chakras. The more you do this exercise, the more it helps you control your chakras. Passively adding 5% to WIS. Naruto didn't like the exercise very much. Even if he used it to its fullest and got a 100% bonus to his WIS, it would still only give him a total of 20 WIS, which is nowhere near enough for Bunshin. And that's if the passive buff went that high at all. Alright, Naruto said. Sensei, Do you have a leaf? Iruka gave Naruto a friendly smile, then took a leaf from his hip pouch and gave it to him. Here you go, said Iruka. You're carrying around leaves? Iruka asked. How do you think we leave leaves behind when we use Shunshin? Really? Naruto was shocked. Really? I mean, really? Really, Iruka laughed and gave a small nod. Huh, who knew? Naruto said as he laughed a little and put the leaf on his head. Sticky leaves. Naruto sat at his desk and looked at the leaf on his forehead while his CP continued to drop quickly. Naruto ended the skill just before the 5-minute mark, letting the leaf float down and his CP start to recharge. The level of leaf sticking has gone up by 1. The level of leaf sticking has gone up by 1. The level of leaf sticking has gone up by 1. The level of leaf sticking has gone up by 1. Wow, Naruto said with pleasure. In just 5 minutes, he had gone up 4 levels. Leaf sticking, passive, active, LV5 EXP 97.85% CP10 every 5 seconds. All Academy students learn this exercise as an introduction to controlling their chakras. The more you do this exercise, the more it helps you control your chakras. 6% of WIS is added by doing nothing. Naruto read the update, but he didn't like it. It did make the skill cheaper, but it only made the passive buff 1% better. Naruto actually paid attention in class while his CP filled up on his status screen. After an hour, the sensei told each student to start practicing the 3 techniques. Naruto got quests for all of them, but the rewards were not very good. He got 200 express for the 2 he could do and 100 express for the Bunshin he couldn't do. There were no extra quests for doing well. Finally, class was over, and Naruto was free for the rest of the afternoon. He had 2 goals in mind. First, he had to go to Higurashi Weapons, and then his name was written on a bowl of Ichiraku ramen. At the end of the market district, Higurashi Weapons was a small shop that looked run down. The wooden sign above the door said that they had been serving Konoha since the village was first built. Naruto stepped inside carefully, letting the door close behind him with a soft thud and a jingle of a bell. As Naruto went deeper into the shop, he didn't see anyone right away. Hello, he said in a careful way. See you in a minute, a rough-sounding man said from somewhere in the back. Naruto looked around the shop, knowing that for now it was pretty safe. It turned out to be a real treasure trove of weapons and armor. Everything he looked at made his work extra hard. Now, what can I do for you? The shopkeeper asked as he put a big box down on the counter with a heavy thud. I need to look into getting better gear or having the stuff I have fixed, Naruto said, still not sure how the man would react. Well, fixing the crap you're wearing right now shouldn't be a problem, but I would strongly suggest burning it. Also, I'm not touching that thing until it's been washed and sanitized. So, let's see what we can do to get you some good gear. How much money do you have? I have only 3,500 ryo, Naruto said. I didn't ask how much money you have. I asked, how much money do you have? How will you eat if I take all your money? Pay your bills? Live? Oh, then I'd say about 1,500, Naruto said. He had been saving this money to buy a new video game, but this was more important. Right, we should be able to get you some decent pants and a better jacket, but not much more than that, the shopkeeper said. That works for me, Naruto said, and he finally started to feel more comfortable around the man. Naruto looked at the shopkeeper for a moment as he walked through the narrow aisles. He was a big guy, at least twice as tall as Naruto. He had a big stomach, but his arms were thicker and more muscled than Naruto's. Here, the shopkeeper said, handing a pair of black pants to Naruto. They looked like the pants that all shinobi wear. Black pants for the academy. These pants are made of a thin, lightweight material and have light leather armor on the inside to make them stronger. Stats. Plus 1-5 def, plus 5% more effective, stealth, plus 5 dex, plus 0.50 to speed, dur 60/60ths. Naruto's, observe, told him about this, which made him very eager to try these on. Pick a jacket, the shopkeeper said, holding up 4 different jackets. Jacket for the Black and Crimson Academy. This jacket is made of a thin, lightweight material and has light leather armor on the inside to make it stronger. Stats. Plus 1-2 def, plus 5 dex, plus 5 s-t-r, plus 0.50 speed, dur 60/60ths. Black and Navy Academy issue jacket. This jacket is made of a thin, light material and is reinforced on the inside with light leather armor. Stats. Plus 1-2, Def, plus 5 DEX, plus 5, S, T, R, plus 0.50 speed, Doer 60/60ths. Black and Olive Academy Issue Jacket. This jacket is made of a thin, lightweight material and has light leather armor on the inside to make it stronger. Stats. Plus 1-2, Def, plus 5 DEX, plus 5, S, T, R, plus 0.50 speed, Doer 60/60ths. Jacket for the Black Academy issue. This jacket is made of a thin, lightweight material and has light leather armor on the inside to make it stronger. Stats. Plus 1-2, Def, plus 5 DEX, plus 5% stealth effectiveness, plus 0.50 speed, 60/60ths Doer. Black and Olive, Naruto replied. It wasn't orange, and even though the navy looked cool, Naruto would never dress more like the Uchiha jerk. The shopkeeper nodded, gave him the jacket, and hung up the others. That adds up to 1200 ryo. You could probably use what's left to buy some cheap gloves, arm guards, or shin guards. No thanks, Naruto said. He decided to give up while he was ahead. The shopkeeper just shrugged and led Naruto back to the counter, where Naruto paid and thanked the man for his help. Before you leave, let me tell you that my regular delivery girl is on a mission. If you have time, I could use your help, the shop owner said. When Naruto saw the blue window appear, he smiled. Quest alert. Deliver the goods. Instead of the regular delivery girl, you should deliver the Higurashi weapons. Bring the box to the Hokage Tower in no more than 15 minutes. Award for completion, 500 Express. 500 Ryo. Build up your name with Higurashi weapons. Completion failure, 100 Express. 100 Ryo. Bring Higurashi weapons reputation down. Naruto pressed the Confirm, Y button. Great, bring this box to the Hokage Tower. Watch out, because it's heavy. Also, make sure the front desk person signs for it. Naruto happily grabbed the box and ran out of the store with it. As soon as he left, the timer came up and started counting down. He almost shouted, "Let's do this," as he sped off at full speed. After 9 minutes, Naruto arrived at the tower with the box and went to the front desk. The timer stopped with 0 hours 5 minutes and 43 seconds left on the clock as soon as he got her to sign the form. You finished the delivery in plenty of time. Get your reward by going back to Higurashi weapons. Naruto smiled and walked out of the tower with a little bounce in his step. You made good time, kid, the shopkeeper said to Naruto when he came in waving the signed form. You bet I did, said Naruto. After finishing, you get 500 Express, 500 Ryo, and a 50-point boost to your reputation with Higurashi weapons. Bonus. 500 experience points, 100 experience points per minute left on the timer, 500 Ryo, 100 Ryo per minute left on the timer, and plus 250 to your reputation with Higurashi weapons, 50 reputation points per minute left on the timer. The shopkeeper said, good job. If you come back next week, I might have another delivery for you. Naruto decided to look up the man's name at last. Higurashi Hidden LV? Thanks, Higurashi-san, said Naruto. That was really cool. He got twice as much money just for being fast. Now get out of here, because I'm closing up for the night. Naruto said goodbye quickly and left the store, eager to try out his new clothes at home. When he got home, Naruto opened his inventory and put the new clothes in the empty slots, then dragged them to his chest and legs. As it was happening, it felt a little strange, but Naruto wasn't going to complain about it. He ran to the bathroom to look in the mirror and see how he looked now. He said to himself, I make this look good, but he still grinned. Naruto had to decide what to do for the rest of the night. Clearly, his plans for Ichiraku had changed, so the first thing he needed to do was feed him some instant ramen. Naruto ended up eating a few bowls of cup ramen for dinner. It wasn't exactly cooking, but it did the trick. He worked on leaf sticking and played video games for the rest of the night while waiting for his chakra to come back. He had 5 more levels with it by the time he went to sleep for the night. Leaf sticking, passive, active, LV10 EXP 63.82% CP8 every 5 seconds. All Academy students learn this exercise as an introduction to controlling their chakras. The more you do this exercise, the more it helps you control your chakras. 8% of WIS is added by passively. You've been to bed and slept there. HP and CP have plenty of space. Naruto opened his eyes with a big smile on his face. Naruto's best way to start the day was to close the sleep message and sit up. Leaf sticking, he said as he put the leaf on his head from his nightstand. After about 9 minutes, he stopped using the skill, letting the leaf float away. The level of leaf sticking has gone up by 1. The level of leaf sticking has gone up by 1. Leaf sticking, passive, active, LV12 EXP 43.12% CP8 every 5 seconds. All Academy students learn this exercise as an introduction to controlling their chakras. The more you do this exercise, the more it helps you control your chakras. 8% of WIS is added by doing nothing. 5% of the extra CP lost from using too much chakra is not lost. Hell yeah, Naruto said. He was happy not only about the levels, but also about the fact that all of his other skills lost less CP. Naruto hurried through his morning routine and ran outside to get some fresh air and get ready for the day. Naruto saw right away that the streets were much busier than they usually are at this time in the morning. Then he remembered that today was the day when new students were given their KSA cards. Naruto put some chakra into his legs and jumped onto the nearest roof. Through a special act, a special skill has been made. With the Chakra Leap, LVL. One move, you can jump over tall buildings in a single bound. One has been made. Chakra Leap, passive, LV1 EXP 0.00% CP1 per 10 meters. By strengthening your leg muscles with chakra, you can now jump to great heights. When active, you can jump farther. Naruto stopped on the roof to read the description. Cool, but shouldn't that have already been a skill? He asked. Does that mean it will automatically use chakra? Naruto just shrugged and ran to the edge of the roof. He jumped to the next building from there. He kept an eye on his CP to see what would happen. For a short time, it went down, but it quickly went back up. Naruto shrugged again. Huh, that's interesting. He still had a long way to go to get to class. He put some chakra back into his legs and started to run across the roof and jump from one to the next until he reached the academy. Through a special act, a special skill has been made. Movement, Chakra Sprint, LVL. 1. You run like the wind. 1 has been made. Chakra Sprint, active, LV1 EXP 0.00% CP20. You can get a quick burst of speed by strengthening your leg muscles with chakra. When active, running speed gets a boost of 20.0 for 10 seconds. What's going on with this game? Naruto asked with a frown. More skills that should have already been there. I guess the game can't know everything, but this is still a bit silly. Naruto jumped off the roof across from the KSA entrance and landed softly on the ground. The level of physical endurance has gone up by 1. Naruto looked at his HP and saw that he had lost 10 points of health because he had fallen off the roof. He would never have thought that falling from a roof like that would hurt him, because all shinobi did it all the time. On the other hand, his HP had already returned to normal after the fall, so it didn't matter much. Perhaps I should use chakra to lessen the damage of the fall? Through a special act, a special skill has been made. You can't hurt me, Chakra Reinforcement, LVL. 1 has been made. Chakra Strengthening, active, level 10% carbon monophosphide, 100. You can now protect yourself from some damage by strengthening your body with chakra. When active, the effect reduces damage by an extra 100 HP. Reinforcement stays in place until you have taken minus 100 damage. What? That's fucking awesome, Naruto said in a loud voice. I didn't even have to try to use the chakra first, I just had to think about it, Naruto said. He then took a moment to think about what had happened that morning. Fuck, that's 3 more skills I need to learn. Son of AB***TCH. Naruto groaned again as he dragged himself into the academy for what was sure to be a long day. Naruto spent the whole day in class bored out of his mind as Iruka talked about history and tactics that he had already learned from the skillbook. He had already used up all of his CP twice, once by using chakra reinforcement, over and over again, and once by using leaf sticking. Okay, it's time for lunch, and the rest of today is conditioning, Iruka said. Naruto smiled. He liked the idea of getting in shape, but that would mean he would have to eat lunch for a change. Naruto ran as fast as he could to Ichiraku and sat down to eat his favorite meal. Ayame said, "Hello, Naruto-kun. I haven't seen you much since classes started back up at the academy. Naruto said, I've just been busy. I've been training a lot. I have to graduate this time or I'll be kicked out of the program. Okay, just don't forget about us, Ayame told the boy with a sweet smile. Of course not, Ayame Nichan. I could never forget you guys. I meant to come yesterday, but things got a little crazy. Oh, and do you like my new clothes? I got them yesterday. I know they're not as cool as my orange clothes, but I still think they're pretty good. I have to say it's a big step up, Ayame said, which made Naruto gasp. Don't gasp at me. I know you like orange, and I'm not a shinobi, but I can't imagine orange as a good color for the job. Yeah, you're right about that, Naruto said, but I didn't find a store that sold the good stuff until yesterday. Well, then, you shouldn't waste your new clothes. I expect you to graduate with flying colors in November, or I'll stop giving you ramen. For good. Not that, anything but that, Naruto pleaded. Then, I guess you'd better just make sure you graduate, huh? With ramen on the line, you can consider it done, Naruto said. Tucci yelled from the back of the stand, you'd better get going, Naruto. The odds are 10 to 1. Thanks, Tucci-san, Naruto said as he quickly ate the last of the noodles and broth. Naruto used his Chakra Sprint and Chakra Leap to get back to the academy. Along the way, he leveled up both moves. Naruto got back to class right before the Iruka came in and led everyone outside to the open training field. Now, I want you to run 20 laps around the training field, Iruka said. The class groaned loudly as they started to move steadily around the dirt track that was well worn into the edge of the training field. Naruto ran because he was told to, but he didn't care much because it wasn't like it would make him tired at all. Around the 15th lap, a blue window appeared. Your workouts pay off, which makes your VIT go up by 1. Naruto smiled, which was something he always did when something good happened to him. This meant that if he kept working out, his stats would keep going up, just like his skills did as he worked on them. Iruka told everyone, good job. Now do 50 sit-ups and 20 push-ups each. Naruto did what he was told and got down on the ground to do sit-ups. One thing he liked about his strength was that he never seemed to get tired. And it paid off again when another blue window appeared on sit-up 45. Your STR goes up by 1 because you feel the pain. Grin. Again. Naruto did all of his sit-ups and then turned over to do his push-ups. This time, after the 20th push-up, a blue window appeared. Your STR goes up by 1 because you feel the pain. Naruto looked around and saw that most of his class was still doing sit-ups and only a few were doing push-ups. The 8 students he knew were better than the rest of the class were doing push-ups. Naruto decided he had more time, so he did another set of sit-ups to try to improve his STR even more. He didn't get any stronger after he turned 50. So he turned on his back and did the push-ups. The blue box came back after 2 push-ups. Your STR goes up by 1 because you feel the pain. Okay, he could make this work. For his STR to go up, it seemed like he would have to do more exercises per point. But that made him think there might be a top. He already had 1 point because he had to run to class the day before, and now he had 3 more points. But could he get an endless number of points? Iruka yelled, quick, finish your sets. It's time for your favorite exercise, the obstacle course. To get everyone's attention, which made the students groan again. Naruto did the push-ups he needed to do to finish his second set, then jumped up and joined the line for the obstacle course. Naruto's favorite exercise was really this one, but most of the class hated it because it was hard and because if you did it wrong, you'd probably get dirty. Because of his second set of push-ups, Naruto was pretty far back in line, so he worked on leaf sticking while he waited. He used up most of his chakra working on it, but he didn't get a level. This meant that he wasn't getting enough experience to improve his skills, and as their levels went up, it would be harder and harder to do so. So it would be almost impossible to max out his skills. Naruto, wake up, it's your turn, Iruka said, snapping his fingers in front of Naruto's face. Naruto looked up at Iruka and blinked. Huh? Sorry about that, I totally lost track of time. Iruka sighed and pointed to the obstacle course. Just go, she said. Naruto walked up to the line, and as soon as he did, a timer in the corner of his eye showed 0 hours 0 minutes and 0 seconds .00. It did make Naruto wonder, but he could think about it later if he wanted to. Naruto ran as fast as he could toward the quintuple steps, which were angled 45 degrees toward a water pit. His foot barely touched each step before he landed on a small hill that led up to a log with a few holes to hold on to. Naruto jumped on the log and held on as hard as he could as it moved along a rail track, dropping every few feet to try to shake him off. He then had to run across an unstable bridge with several platforms that would turn left or right if he stood on any of them for too long. From there, he had to grab a pole that was hanging from a series of pegs. This was called a salmon ladder, and he used it to jump from one peg to the next until he got to the top. At the top was a long board that was hanging over a pit with water and mud. At the bottom of the board were a few round metal bulbs that were just big enough to hold on to. Naruto grabbed the first one, swung to the next one, and so on, for about 20 meters, until he reached another platform. He ran down a few steps and stood in front of a crooked wall. A 20-meter-high wood wall curved out toward him. He ran as hard and fast as he could up the wall, hoping to get a grip at the top. After getting to the top, he ran the last 50 meters to the finish line. Just as Naruto crossed the finish line, the timer stopped and showed 0 hours 3 minutes and 47 seconds. 87. Your dex goes up by 1 because you bend and twist your way to the finish line. But Naruto didn't pay attention to the message because he was trying to catch his breath with his hands on his knees and gasping for air. Today's class was terrible. The KSA's obstacle courses were so well known that many Chunin still use them to train on a regular basis. Except for the steps at the beginning in the warp wall and 50-meter sprint at the end, the obstacles change often and are always different. Naruto was finally able to catch his breath, so he took a minute to think about the good things about his conditioning day. Not sprinting, but just running laps increased VIT. STR got stronger by doing push-ups and sit-ups. The obstacle course made dex better. Naruto knew that he would have to come here more often to try to improve his stats as much as he could. That didn't answer the question of whether or not there was a limit to how many stats he could get by working out. Good job, Naruto, said Iruka. This time, you came in 5th. Who was it that beat me? Sasuke, Kiba, Hinata, and Tomoto, answered Iruka. A quick look at each of them shows that their dex stats were better than his. It also showed that Kiba had moved up a level and was now level 10. I guess that means I'll have to work harder then, huh, sensei? Keep working hard like you have this week, and you'll definitely graduate this time, Iruka said with his usual friendly smile. Naruto asked, can I run it again? Iruka looked up at the sky and then at the line. You can get back in line and try to get in one more run, but there are no guarantees. Thanks, Iruka-sensei, Naruto yelled as he ran back to the line. Naruto did run the course again, but he didn't get another DEX point. Naruto could be found at the target range again after school, switching between leaf sticking, chakra reinforcement, kunai bukajutsu, and shuriken bukajutsu to level them up as much as he could. Naruto also noticed that hitting the target no longer gave him any experience toward his level. This is what Naruto did until his stomach told him it was time to eat. So he went to get something to eat and then went home. When he got home, he kept working on leaf sticking and chakra reinforcement, but this time he did sit-ups and push-ups when he had a break. In the first 4 sets, he got 2 more STR points, but the next 5 sets did nothing. He finally figured out that he could only get 1 extra point for each level. So he could only add 6 points to STR until he reached a new level. This meant that he could raise his VIT by 4 times more and his dex by 3 times more. He just needed time to work on it while he worked on leveling up all of his other skills. You've been to bed and slept there. HP and CP have plenty of space. Naruto was excited to train his skills again when he woke up. Before doing his morning routine, he spent almost all of his CP right away working on leaf sticking. Naruto decided that he could cap his VIT level quickly enough by running to school every morning and taking a longer route depending on how much time he had. And he did just that. Iruka said, "Good morning, class," as he walked into the classroom. So, we're back to where we were on day 1. Let's all try to get better. When he started talking about how bukajutsu can be used in different ways and how physics can be used, Naruto stopped listening. Instead, he chose to drain his chakra again until it was almost empty, this time on chakra reinforcement, then put his head on the desk and closed his eyes until it was time to practice outside. It didn't take long for them to get outside to the practice range, where Naruto was thrilled to get a quest alert right away. Quest alert. My best is getting at least 90%. You have 5 tries to throw the kunai and shuriken at least 90% of the time. Award for completion, 1000 Express. Skill book for the Intermediate Academy of Taijutsu. Completion failure, 200 Express. When Naruto thought about winning, he had to wipe the saliva off the corner of his mouth. He quickly hit the confirm Y button and moved to the front of the line. On his first turn, Naruto got a score of 93 and only missed one shuriken hit. Yada! He yelled with happiness. You're getting better, good job. After finishing, you get 1000 experience points in the Intermediate Academy Taijutsu skill book. Naruto was very eager to start reading the book, but he had to stop when he got another message. Congratulations. Your level has gone up 1. That made Naruto smile happily. Quest alert. It is its own reward to be perfect, score 100%. You have 4 chances to throw kunai and shuriken 100% of the time. Completion award. Expired in 2000. Completion failure, 500 Express. Naruto quickly pressed the confirm Y button and went to the back of the line to check out his new book. You now have the Intermediate Academy Taijutsu skill book. Do you want to learn how to do it? Naruto tapped the confirm Y button quickly because he was eager to learn the new skills. You can't learn how to do this. Must have STR, 20. Dex must be 20. Needs, Beginner Academy Taijutsu, at the highest level. The happiness Naruto had before just disappeared. He had to reach the highest level of skill. How was he going to reach the top level of skill? He already had 5 stats from leveling up, and he could train 1 more STR and 4 more Dex to get more. But to get his beginner taijutsu to the highest level possible? He was in trouble. Naruto chose to put 3 stat points into STR and 1 into Dex for now. He will decide what to do with the rest of his points later. Before he knew it, he was up to throw again, and he got another 93%. All 4 of his attempts were 93%, but he always missed at least 1, which made him very angry. The rest of the morning was spent on boring history lessons. After lunch, Naruto ran the obstacle course to get a few Dex points while he had the time. He did end up with 2 more points before lunch was over. The fact that he was getting better made him think. How could he improve his int and whis, especially his whis? It made him look around the room and watch his classmates again. He noticed that Shikamaru's whis was higher than the last time he checked, but he hadn't gained a level. This meant that he did something to raise it. What did he do? That's the question. Hey, Shikamaru, Naruto said softly, trying not to anger Iruka-sensei. Shikamaru slightly turned his head to look at Naruto. Yeah? How did you get so smart? What do you do? What, do you study a lot? Che, you're a pain, Shikamaru said. I usually don't study unless I have to. I think it's because I've played so much shogi. Isn't that a board game? Yeah, I guess you could call it that, Shikamaru said. Why were you curious? Do you think you could help me learn how to play? Troublesome, Shikamaru whined once more. I guess I can teach you something today after school. Just don't do anything that makes things hard. Really? Thanks a lot, Shikamaru. I'll owe you a lot for this, Naruto said with a huge smile. Whatever, I'm going to go back to sleep until it's time for taijutsu practice. Naruto couldn't wait for the day to be over. He hoped that learning shogi from Shikamaru would help him improve his whis. Still, he had a problem with his int, but his strange status buff gave him more VIT and int with every level, so he didn't have to worry about it unless the buff suddenly went away. So, while waiting for taijutsu practice to start, Naruto once again used all of his chakra to train his skills. 2 more levels of chakra reinforcement, and it was time for taijutsu. When it was time for Naruto to practice taijutsu, he was upset that he didn't get any kind of quest. He just leveled up, so maybe he was too high for the taijutsu quests. No matter what, Naruto was upset. Naruto's first match of the day was against a kid named Midori Tomoto, who was from the outside world. Midori Tomoto LV6. HP, 150/150ths. CP, 50/50. STR, 10. VIT, 15. Dex, 20. Int, 5. Whis, 5. Luck, 2. Midori Tomoto is a student at the academy who was born on Earth. Even though he is pretty good at taijutsu, he is very bad at most of the other shinobi arts. So Naruto was stronger and just a little less skilled than him. Based on what he knew, Naruto thought it would be a pretty even fight. They gave each other a bow, and then Naruto took a defensive back stance and Tomodo took an aggressive front stance. Before attacking Tomodo, Naruto wanted to see how he fought. Hajime, called Iruka. Tomodo jumped at Naruto right away and hit him in the head with a flying roundhouse kick. Naruto's arm shot up to block the kick, but the kick still got through the block and threw him off balance a little. Tomodo followed up his kick with a solid punch to Naruto's stomach, which caused Naruto to groan in pain. Naruto quickly fought back by giving Tomodo a stomp kick to the shin, which made the boy fall to one knee. When Naruto saw that his opponent was down, he attacked with a knee strike. The knee missed Tomodo's face, but it hit him hard enough in the shoulder to knock him out of the ring. Winner, Uzumaki Naruto, called Iruka. Naruto wanted to celebrate his first win in a long time, but he knew he should bow and leave the ring instead. The level of Beginner Academy Taijutsu has gone up by 1. The level of Beginner Academy Taijutsu has gone up by 1. Naruto finally did celebrate. Yada. He not only beat one of the best taijutsu users, but he also leveled up his Beginner Academy Taijutsu twice. If you asked Naruto, he would say it was a triple win. Naruto fought twice more that day, first with Ito Momo, a civilian student, and then with Inuzuka Kiba. He beat the civilian like a drum, but Kiba beat him. He got a new level in taijutsu either way. When Sasuke beat Tomodo in the last match of the day, class was over for the day. It made Naruto have a little bit of respect for Sasuke's skill, but he still didn't like him as a person. "Yo, Naruto, you ready?" asked Shikamaru. "Yeah, let's go," said Naruto. He was happy to spend some time with Shikamaru. Yeah, said Shikamaru, yawning lazily. Together, they walked a kilometer to a hilltop park. There were a lot of shogi tables all over the place. Some of them were being used, but most of them were empty. Shikamaru led him to one of the larger tables with a roof over it. He sat down, took out a scroll, and opened a small box that had the game pieces in it. Then, he set up the game table. Shikamaru asked, "Do you know anything about the game, Naruto?" "I know nothing about it," Naruto said honestly. "Never played before and have never been shown how to play before." "Troublesome," Shikamaru said. Then, he went into a long, detailed explanation of how each piece moves and how to advance each piece before finally explaining how captured pieces work. Then he gave Naruto a couple of examples before letting him play a game with him. Shikamaru said, "You lose," and it was over in less than 20 moves. "What? Already?" Naruto asked, not quite getting it. "Damn it, again." "You lose," said Shikamaru, 20 minutes later. This time, it took about 30 moves to finish the game. "You did better than before, but you're still learning." "No kidding," Naruto said with a groan of defeat. "What's this?" "Sure," said Shikamaru. So, another game began, and Naruto got his first pop-up message about halfway through. The level of Beginner Academy Tactics has gone up by 1. Your WIS went up by 1 because you worked smarter, not harder. If Naruto wasn't trying to pay attention to the game, he would have cheered. Even though he was losing badly, it was still better than the last game. "You lose," said Shikamaru, smirking a little. "Today is over for me. I've got to get home or my mom will nag at me. But if you want, we could play again another time." "I'd like that." "Cool, but make sure you buy your own pieces for the next time," Shikamaru said. "I know you just started playing, but it's good manners to bring your own pieces." "Where can I buy the set?" Shikamaru shrugged and said, Konoha General Store should sell them, but he wasn't sure. Naruto just had to cringe. I don't think they really like me there." "Don't worry, I'll buy you a cheap set." Shikamaru said, "You can pay me back." "Thank you again," said Naruto. "Thank you so much, Shikamaru." "Maybe next time you won't prank them so much," he said, and then he walked away through a lazy gate. "It's time for me to start working." Naruto said to himself, "I need one more point of Dex and STR." He could feel his excitement and enthusiasm building. Shikamaru's walk away from the blonde mystery was anything but happy. He was happy that his fake friend was interested in shogi, but it was strange for the blonde prankster. Something about Naruto seemed to have changed recently. The question was why the change happened and how much trouble it would cause in the future. Troublesome, he said once more. As usual, Shikamaru's walk home was calm. When he got home, his mother yelled at him right away, first for being late and then for not taking out the trash before he went to school. She also told him to do his homework and feed the deer, and then he had to train in the family's hijutsu. After 2 hours, he had done his chores and was ready to turn in his homework. Shikamaru found himself at the dinner table with his family. "So, why did you come home from school late today?" Yoshino asked him. "A friend from school asked me to teach him how to play shogi," Shikamaru said as he pushed his tofu around with his chopsticks, hashi. His father asked, "What friend?" Naruto was curious. "I didn't see what was wrong with it," Shikamaru said. Shikaku said, "That's interesting," while Yoshino just frowned. "Don't pick up any of his bad habits," Yoshino said in a firm voice. "Troublesome," Shikamaru said. "You've been to bed and slept there. HP and CP have plenty of space." The 5th morning after Naruto got his gamer ability, he woke up a little later than usual. He might not have slept well or he might not have been as excited as he was at first. Any way you look at it, he felt more like himself again. After leaving Shikamaru the day before, Naruto went back to the training field. As he ran there, he got a point of VIT, and then he got that last point of STR and Dex to get his stats where they needed to be to learn Intermediate Academy Taijutsu, minus the LV max he needed in Beginner Academy Taijutsu. Naruto said, status, as he yawned and stretched to wake up a bit more. Name: Uzumaki Naruto. The Gamer's Class. Academy Student, 25% more experience to level 10. Level: LV7. Belongs to Konoha. HP: 1031-1031. CP: 1010-1010. STR: 26. VIT: 23, 11.15. Dex: 2011. Int: 2011. Wis: 12, 1.68. Luck: Def: 35, 2.1. Status: +10, int, +10, vit, plus. Percent experience 2. Skill: +100 HP and +100 CP per level, prankster, -5% reputation gain, +5% experience in trap, skill, +5% experience in stealth, skill. Naruto Uzumaki is the last student to graduate from the Konoha Academy. He has failed the graduation test twice, which shows that he is not ready to graduate. His past is full of mysteries that he needs to figure out. Point 0. Ryo: 3,300. Overall, it wasn't that bad. In the last week, he'd made some pretty big steps forward. But Naruto had already seen that there were no more quests at the academy. He wasn't getting better at taijutsu through his matches or practice with targets. At this time, the only quest he had left to do was the Kunai and Shuriken Mastery quest, if it showed up again, and maybe another delivery quest next week at Higurashi Weapons. Naruto found out quickly that he was right. The same thing happened in his class for the next 3 months. On the first day, they practiced with Shuriken and Kunai and then did taijutsu. Day 2. Chakra lecture, then jutsu practice, including Bunshin, which Naruto couldn't do without putting a lot of progress into Whis, which he wasn't willing to do. On the third day, he had more lectures and then conditioning, which he was already good at until he leveled again. At least on day 3, he spent time playing shogi with Shikamaru. Even after he reached the maximum for his Whis bonus stat, he kept playing because he was getting closer to Shikamaru and because it helped him get better at Beginner Academy tactics. Then, of course, day 1 would start all over again. At least on the weekends, he could work on improving his skills from the time he woke up until he went to bed, excluding eating and sleeping. So, even though he wasn't leveling up, he had made a lot of progress in his skills, or at least in the skills he tried to work on the most. Chakra strengthening, active, LV 1892.74% carbon monophosphide, 100. You can now protect yourself from some damage by strengthening your body with chakra. When active, the effect reduces damage by an extra 280 HP. Reinforcement stays in place until you take 280 points of damage. Leaf sticking, passive, active, LV 22 EXP 16.52% CP5 every 5 seconds. All Academy students learn this exercise as an introduction to controlling their chakras. The more you do this exercise, the more it helps you control your chakras. 9% of WIS is added by doing nothing. Passively cuts by 8% the amount of CP you lose when you use too much chakra. Beginner Academy Taijutsu, passive, level 9 experience, 99.97%. Taijutsu, or hand-to-hand fighting, is another skill that all shinobi need to know. Beginners learn the right way to stand and how to strike, kick, and block. Passively adds 5% to STR. Passively ups VIT by 5%. Passively adds 5% to Dex. Beginner Academy Tactics, passive, level 7 experience 15.72%. Team formations, ambush points, counter-ambush, and many other strategies. Passively adds 5% to int. Passively makes WIS 5% better. Kunai Bukajutsu, passive, active, LV15 Express, 85.07% carbon monophosphide, 5. This is a technique for using the kunai in both close combat and long-range combat. Passively makes kunai 35% more accurate. Increases kunai parry passively by 20%. When active, STR goes up by 15% more. Shuriken Bukajutsu, passive, active, LV15 Express, 85.07% carbon monophosphide, 5. This is a special shuriken technique for use at a distance. Passively increases the accuracy of shuriken by 45%. When active, the damage goes up by 15% more. So, here he was again on day 1 of the rotation, just going through the motions and eagerly waiting to practice his kunai and shuriken so he could try to finally get a perfect score on that damned cursed quest. Quest alert. It is its own reward to be perfect, score 100%. You have 5 chances to throw kunai and shuriken 100% of the time. Completion award. Expired in 2000. Completion failure. 500 Express. Naruto scowled when he saw the quest text. He quickly hit confirm, Y, and got in line. Between this quest once or twice a week and his delivery quest for Higurashi weapons, he was barely getting 1000 to 1500 Express a week and an extra 500 Express a month for his landlord's rat problem. He didn't know how long it would be until he leveled again. Naruto had to shake his head to get his mind off how frustrated he was with his life becoming a game and back on the target in front of him. Just yesterday, he got both of his Bukajutsu skills to level 15. Hopefully, that will be enough to get him to 100% this time. Kunai was 5 for 5 and then 9 for 10 with his shuriken. Naruto huffed and grumbled as he moved to the back of the line to wait for his next chance. The next 3 were pretty much the same, but on the 3rd try, he got something good out of it. The level of Kunai Bukajutsu has gone up by 1. The level of Shuriken Bukajutsu has gone up by 1. Kunai Bukajutsu, passive, active, LV16 Express, 0.02% carbon monophosphide, 5. This is a technique for using the kunai in both close combat and long-range combat. Passively makes kunai 35% more accurate. Increases kunai parry passively by 25%. When active, STR goes up by 15% more. Shuriken Bukajutsu, passive, active, LV16 Express, 0.02% carbon monophosphide, 5. This is a special shuriken technique for use at a distance. Actively makes shurikens 50% more accurate. When active, the damage goes up by 15% more. Naruto prayed the whole time he was waiting to get back to the front of the line that this would be enough to hit the mark. Kunai again won all 5 of his matches. The first 9 shuriken were successful. Naruto could only throw 1 more time. Naruto took a deep breath in and out, looked at the target, and then quickly flicked his wrist to send the last shuriken cutting through the air. After what seemed like an eternity, the last shuriken hit the target with a sharp thunk in the middle. Naruto jumped and yelled, "Yada!" while pumping his fist into the air. Finally, "You stupid targets, I'm your girlfriend now." "Well done Naruto," said Iruka. "Perfect. Award for completion, 2000 Express. Congratulations. Your level has gone up 1. Yada." Again, Naruto yelled with happiness. Finally, "Fuck, I didn't think it would ever happen. It took way too long." Shikamaru asked, "What took so long?" Even though he knew he probably shouldn't get involved in whatever trouble Naruto had gotten into. "I got a perfect score," Naruto said, with a tiny bit of nervousness in his voice. Fine, don't tell me. It's probably going to be hard anyway, Shikamaru said. Naruto frowned at what he saw. He hadn't told anyone about his gaming skill yet, not even the old man, who was like family, even though he hadn't seen him much in the last few months. Even though Shikamaru seemed lazy, he had shown that he was smart and reliable. Naruto thought of him as one of the few real friends he had. His reputation bar said that they were even better friends now than when they first started playing shogi together. Well, are you free after class today? Naruto asked. It's hard to explain, so it may take a while. Shikamaru studied him briefly before finally nodding. Okay, we can go up to the roof of the academy to talk. Cool, Naruto said, making up his mind. For now, we should probably go back inside before Iruka-sensei's head explodes, Shikamaru joked. Naruto nodded and went back inside with him. Before taijutsu practice, the afternoon lecture went as planned. Naruto was paired back up with Tomoto first, and in less than 2 minutes, he beat the living crap out of him. The level of Beginner Academy Taijutsu has gone up by 1. As soon as Naruto left the ring after being named the winner, the message popped up. The only bad thing about Beginner Academy Taijutsu that Naruto had noticed was that even though it gained levels, it didn't improve his passive skills at all. Naruto still opened the menu to see if anything had changed now that the game had reached level 10. Beginner Academy Taijutsu, passive, max level. Taijutsu, or hand-to-hand fighting, is another skill that all shinobi need to know. Beginners learn the right way to stand and how to strike, kick, and block. Passively adds 5% to STR. Passively ups VIT by 5%. Passively adds 5% to Dex. Naruto blinked his eyes more than once. He reached the top level for that skill at level 10, not level 100 as he had thought. That meant that maybe some of his other ways of doing things were also limited. Naruto quickly opened his inventory and pulled out the Intermediate Academy Taijutsu skill book. You now have the Intermediate Academy Taijutsu skill book. Do you want to learn how to do it? Naruto pressed the Confirm Y button. Your skill, Beginner Academy Taijutsu, has been changed to Intermediate Academy Taijutsu. Passive Intermediate Academy Taijutsu LV. 10 Express. 0%. Taijutsu, or hand-to-hand fighting, is another skill that all shinobi need to know. Beginners learn the right way to stand and how to strike, kick, and block. At the intermediate level, you learn a few more hand-to-hand combat stances, strikes, kicks, blocks, and holds. Passively makes STR 7.5% better. Passively makes VIT 7.5% higher. Passively makes Dex 7.5% better. Naruto couldn't stop his smile from growing. He finally got the skill set of Taijutsu. It would level up until a certain point, after which he would have to upgrade it to the next level if he wanted it to go any further. That's probably what would happen with Beginner Academy Tactics, too. This also meant that if he wanted to learn higher levels of those skills, he would have to find the right skill books or find someone to teach him the skill. Iruka told him, "Naruto, you're up," which broke his train of thought. Naruto ran into the ring, where he found Sasuke, who was now level 13, waiting for him. Naruto muttered, "Observe," because he wanted to know what was going on. Name: Uchiha Sasuke. Academy student, 25% more experience to level 10. Level: LV 13. Belongs to Konoha. HP: 400 400ths. CP: 490 490ths. STR: 23. VIT: 40. Dex: 39. Int: 49. Wis: 33. Luck: 1. Status: Unawakened Sharingan, +2, Dex, +3, Int, and +1 Wis per level. Avenger, +25% to all stats when attacking Uchiha Itachi. Firebug, -15% cost to Kaiden Jutsu, +10 damage to Kaiden Jutsu. Sasuke Uchiha is the last loyal member of the infamous Uchiha clan to still be alive. They are known for their Dujutsu and the Sharingan, which has helped them do well as shinobi. His past is so clouded by the pain and suffering of losing his family that revenge is all he has left. Naruto just had to cringe. Sasuke was a badass shinobi in training, no matter how much he tried to deny it. The level of Observe has gone up by 1. Hajime called Iruka. Naruto took a defensive stance right away and had to block a nasty series of spearhand blows that pushed him back near the edge of the ring. When he blocked, his forearms hurt, and he couldn't help but wince. Sasuke moved to attack again, so he didn't have time to think about it. Naruto mumbled, "Roll slash," hoping it would work. Naruto rolled out of the way of the next blow and slashed at Sasuke with an empty hand, but all he did was avoid the blow. Crap, Naruto moaned. It was a risky move that worked to keep him in the ring, but it didn't hurt Sasuke at all. It didn't slow Sasuke down, though, because the boy was able to turn around faster than Naruto could get out of his roll. When Naruto turned around, he got a hard kick to the face, which not only knocked him out but also sent him flying out of the ring. Winner, Uchiha Sasuke. That looked like it hurt, Shikamaru said as he reached out to help Naruto get back up. Naruto had to shake his head out a few times before he could see clearly again. It did hurt. That Teme is a machine for getting high. Kami was way too strong for that Uchiha bullshit. Yeah, he's a little too strong for the academy, and he probably should have graduated last year. Shikamaru said, "It sounds like the council turned down his request to graduate early because they didn't want his psychopathic brother to happen again." Sasuke's brother is a dangerous person? Yeah, we killed everyone in the clan except Sasuke. It messed him up a lot. Then that's why he's an Avenger, Naruto mumbled, not really thinking about Shikamaru's presence. Avenger status? Asked Shikamaru. What exactly do you mean? It is part of what I want to tell you about later, Naruto said, hoping Shikamaru could wait until then. Shikamaru said, "That's fine," but it was clear from the look on his face that he was quickly trying to make sense of what he had just heard. Naruto knew Sasuke was a shinobi, but he didn't know why. Troublesome. Once Naruto's head was clear again, he went back to watch the other fights. A lot of the time, the Konoha 12 kick the crap out of regular people, but they rarely do it to each other. The last person Naruto fought was a level 4 civilian who was easy to beat. One cool thing is that he won because one of the new holds he learned made his opponent tap out. The best part was that it gave him an extra level in Intermediate Academy Taijutsu. Again, the day came to an end, but instead of going to train, Naruto went up to the roof of the academy to talk with Shikamaru, who was probably at this point his best friend. Shikamaru asked, "So, what changed?" Naruto made a short frown. "Have you played video games before?" "A few times at Kiba's, but it was never really my thing," Shikamaru said. "It takes too much work for too little payoff." "Alright, I like them. In fact, one of the few things I can do for fun in this village is play video games. You may have noticed that people don't like me very much." "Okay, so what's your point?" "So, I woke up a few months ago, and my life had turned into a video game," Naruto said, not knowing how Shikamaru would react. "I see," said Shikamaru. "I'm serious," said Naruto. "Watch." Naruto opened his inventory space and took his old jacket out of it. "That looks like time-space jutsu," said Shikamaru, trying to understand what he just saw. "I don't know how it works, I just know that it does," Naruto said as he put the jacket back in his inventory. Shikamaru asked, "So what, you have levels and stats and stuff?" "Exactly," Naruto said. "Troublesome," Shikamaru sighed. "Okay, tell me more about this so I can understand it better." So, Naruto took the next hour to explain everything about the game, from leveling up to training to improve his stats. "So you can increase your base stats by 1 for every level you gain through training?" "Yes, that's why I asked you to teach me shogi. It worked, and my Whis stat went up. It seems a little backward that Whis would affect your ability to control your chakra and learn new things, while Int would affect your chakra pool and the strength of your jutsu. It doesn't make much sense to me either, but those are the stupid game's rules," Naruto said with a frown. Even though it didn't make a lot of sense, it did make a little sense to him. "So, what are your current stats and level compared to mine?" Shikamaru asked. "Observe," Naruto said, looking straight at Shikamaru. "Name: Nara Shikamaru. Title: High school student. Level: LV9 next level, 7.09%. HP: 110 110ths. CP: 160 160ths. STR: 8. VIT: 11. Dex: 11. Int: 16. Whis: 41. Luck: 3. Stows: Lazy Genius, +5, Whis per level, -1 STR, -1 VIT, -1 dex, shadow element, can control and manipulate shadows, -15% cost to Kage Jutsu, +10 control to Kage Jutsu, natural leader, adds 25% to the amount of experience you get for advanced tactics, skill. Nara Shikamaru is part of the famous Nara clan, which is known for being smart and lazy. Because of their unique ability to control shadows, they are very useful shinobi. Shikamaru is by far the most intelligent Nara born in a long time, but he is also the most lazy. Naruto read out Shikamaru's stats. Troublesome, he said, pulling a pad of paper from his pocket. Tell me that again. Naruto did. Alright, now give me your numbers. Name: Uzumaki Naruto. The Gamers class. Academy student, 25% more experience to level 10. Level: LV8 next level, 6.43%. Belongs to Konoha. HP: 1169-1169. CP: 1110-1110. STR: 20, 6.50. VIT: 25, 11.88. Dex: 20, 11.50. Int: 20, 11.00. Wis: 15, 2.10. Luck: Def: 35, 4.2. Status: +10, int, +10, vit, plus. Percent experience to. Skill: +100 HP and +100 CP per level, prankster, -5% reputation gain, +5% experience in trap, skill, +5% experience in stealth, skill. Naruto Uzumaki is the last student to graduate from the Konoha Academy. He has failed the graduation test twice, which shows that he is not ready to graduate. His past is full of mysteries that he needs to figure out. Point 5. Ryo, 9000. When Naruto looked at his stats, he saw that he now had a next level stat, which he found useful right away. You're a real pain, you do know that, right? Naruto tried to lighten the mood by saying, I've heard something similar. So, you gained a level earlier today, and now you can add one more stat point to each of your stats, except for VIT, which can gain 3 more points, and int, which can gain 8 more points, right? Yeah, I think so. It's hard to keep track of everything sometimes, Naruto said. You know, it's a lot of crap. Yes, I see what you mean. Well, I'd say you should raise your Wis to 20 for now, just to even things out. To become a genin, we must be well-rounded in all areas. That said, you don't really need to spend points on VIT and int as long as you have that status buff that gives you an extra 100 HP and CP every level. Do you have any idea what that could be? And why don't you have much balance? Probably a Kake Genkai or something similar, Shikamaru said, still with a frown. You could go to the library or do something else to learn more about it. As for my stats being out of whack, they are pretty close, except for Wis. It just means I should probably do some of the hard training you're doing to get them a little higher. What a drag. I've got a bad reputation at the library. Most likely, they won't let me in. Why do people hate you? How did you treat them? Nothing, I've never played a joke on the library. I have no idea where the library is. You'd be blown away by how many places and people don't like me. And these are places or people I've never seen or met. It's a total waste of time. Shikamaru moaned and sighed at the same time. You're troublesome. So hard to deal with. Okay, I'll take a look at it for now, but you'll have to fix your reputation on your own. It says I can do quests for them, but I haven't seen a single one yet. Naruto said, that usually means my level isn't high enough or a special event needs to happen first to unlock the quests. He actually knew a lot about how video games worked and how they worked. That makes some sense. I think that most of those places only give quests as missions, which means that you have to become a genin first. That kind of makes sense, Naruto said, though he hadn't given it much thought before. Okay, so for now all you can do is work on the few quests you can do in your skills until they reach their maximum level. Until you become a genin, at least. Assuming I can graduate. I still can't do Bunshin, and the skill book says that with my current CP, I need to have a very high Wis to learn it. It's not right at all. Yeah, I can see how that CP will cause you trouble in the future. You might be able to learn a different Bunshin, but I wouldn't even know where to start with something like that. Shikamaru rubbed his face with both hands as he thought about how to help his friend the best way. Now you know what my secret is. And even though it's troublesome, you have to admit it's pretty cool, right? No, it's not terrible. It would definitely spice things up. Shikamaru smirked. What are you going to do now? Keep doing my quests and training. Try to find the Advanced Academy Taijutsu, Intermediate Academy Tactics, and Advanced Academy Tactics skill books. I hope I can learn those by the time I graduate, or else I might be in a lot of trouble. I know I have extra copies of the tactics books at home, Shikamaru said. But you have to figure out taijutsu on your own. Really, Shikamaru, that would be great. Sure, Shikamaru said as he waved him away. So, do you have some time to play shogi? I wish, but I should probably go home. My mother is already going to be a pest. Alright, man, I'll see you tomorrow. See you, said Shikamaru. You've been to bed and slept there. HP and CP have plenty of space. Naruto had been alive for another 3 months. Having Shikamaru in on his secret gamer life thing was a big help. He even figured out, much to his annoyance, what he had to do to raise his int stat, pay attention in class and study. It wasn't the best solution, but it worked and kept him from learning Bunshin even more than before. Name: Uzumaki Naruto. The Gamers class. Academy student, 25% more experience to level 10. Level: LV8 next level, 96.82%. Belongs to Konoha. HP: 1201-1201. CP: 1201-1201. STR: 21, 6.58. VIT: 28, 12.10. Dex: 21, 11.58. Int: 28, 12.10. Wis: 21, 3.68. Luck: Def: 35, 5.25. Status: +10, int, +10, vit, plus. Percent experience to. Skill: +100 HP and +100 CP per level, prankster, -5% reputation gain, +5% experience in trap, skill, +5% experience in stealth, skill. Naruto Uzumaki is the last student to graduate from the Konoha Academy. He has failed the graduation test twice, which shows that he is not ready to graduate. His past is full of mysteries that he needs to figure out. Point 0. Ryo, 15,000. On the bright side, he had reached the maximum level for leaf sticking, Kunai Bukajutsu, and Shuriken Bukajutsu, and he had moved on to Intermediate Academy Tactics. Sticky Leaves, passive, LV Max. All Academy students learn this exercise as an introduction to controlling their chakras. The more you do this exercise, the more it helps you control your chakras. Passively adding 10% to Wis. 10% of the extra CP lost from using too much chakra is not lost. Kunai Bukajutsu, passive, active, LV max CP, 5. This is a technique for using the kunai in both close combat and long-range combat. Passively makes kunai 50% more accurate. Increases kunai parry passively by 25%. When active, STR goes up by an extra 20%. Shuriken Bukajutsu, passive, active, LV max CP, 5. This is a special shuriken technique for use at a distance. Actively makes shurikens 50% more accurate. When active, the damage goes up by an extra 25%. Passive Intermediate Academy Tactics LV13 EXP 52.82%. Team formations, ambush points, counter ambush, and many other tactics. Passively makes int 7.5% better. Passively makes Wis 7.5% better. It was just enough of an improvement to make him feel like he'd done something. Now, all he needs to do is level up again. By far, that was the most annoying thing about this. The good news about levels is that Higurashi Weapons had another delivery quest day today. And if it went well, the shop would honor him and give him 15% off everything in the store, so it would be time to go on a shopping spree. Best of all, it should be just enough to get him to level 9. Weapons of Higurashi, friendly 951 thousandths. In June, it was very hot in Hai no Kuni, and Naruto could feel it, especially in his broken-down apartment, which his unfriendly landlord still wouldn't fix. Landlord, unfriendly 151 thousandths. Still, despite everything, things were getting better. He had 5 months until his graduation exam, and at this rate, he should be at least level 10, and if he's really lucky, level 11. First, he had to make it through the day.
So that's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel for more awesome stories like this. Thank you. See you all in my next video.